Hello Tarot Rebels, welcome to today's video. My name is Michaela from Tarot Rebel and I am super happy to see you joining us today. I had an idea while I was filming another video and I decided to talk about my journey of growing with tarot. So I'll make this tag and feel free to use it. I'm gonna call it #GrowWithTarot, and you can share your thoughts if you like, or leave a comment, make your own video as a response to this. But I would love to see your thoughts on this topic, because I've noticed that there are a lot of ways of growing with tarot, and I've made them into prompts just to make sure that we separate them in a way that makes sense. Because although I've talked at length about the decks I will present today, I think after using them over and over and over again for myself and for others, some of them, not all of them, I think it makes more sense as to why they were split in the categories I'm splitting them in at the moment. So use them as prompts if you like. And as always, please remember, this is not a tarot reading, so if you want one, you can book one with me, or you can check a video or book another reading with someone else. It doesn't really matter what avenue you decide to go on. And without further ado, let's talk about growing with tarot. So the way I use decks for, and I've noticed that I go for certain decks in certain circumstances. I use some decks for consistent growth, and I know I had Ember and Aura for a very short time, but it's growing in my collection and in the way I use it. So one of the decks I use for consistent growth right now is Ember and Aura. I have a video on it if you'd like to see it. In my video, I wrongly paired it with the Sasuraibito, which is my other consistent growth deck. What do I mean by consistent growth? This deck has such a motherly energy to it. Whenever I pull cards from it, I can only move forward. It does force me to sit with myself and think, but it helps me advance in a way that's not shocking, in a way that's not jarring, in a way that's it's not necessarily gentle. I will have to admit, it's like this devil. I think it's one of the best devil cards I've ever seen. So it does have a good deal amount of shadow in it, but it's just so consistent. I love this depiction of 3 of coins. It's just so consistent. It's in its delivery, and for some reason I cannot use it on someone else. Mainly all of the decks I'm going to show you here, most of them I use them only on myself, and this deck is just absolutely stunning for that. And the way I use it, because as I said, I initially paired it with the Sasuraibito Tarot. I can't see an oracle deck working with this, but I use it with my White Sage Tarot, which is a nifty little deck. I said it and I will say it again. Like, it's so funny because the 8 of coins is this person sewing a skirt, and the 4 of pentacles has this ribbon, because the White Sage Tarot also works with chakras. So this is a very muted monochrome, watercolory pastel type of color, but the White Sage has a bluish hue to it. The Fool with the King of Cups. Most of the cards do work well together, and you kind of get the impression that, for me, it's mostly the White Sage clarifying the Ember and Aura, but they do work well together. The Strength with the 9 of Wands, perfect pair. Ace of Cups with the 7 of Swords. Daughter of Wands with the Judgment. 4 of Cups with the Queen of Cups. It's just, I don't know, it just feels like it works. They work so well together. And since I've got the Ember and Aura, I've been using it exclusively on a day-to-day basis for myself, and it's been hit after hit after hit after hit. And if I pair it with my White Sage, then it's non-stop growth for me, at least. Again, your situation may be different. You might be using it differently from the way I do it, but it just works for me. Next consistent growth deck is the Sasuraibito, and granted, I do have 2 editions of it. One of them I use it mainly for myself. This is the Sasuraibito deck that I use for everyone else, because I separate them based on personal preference. I feel like the Ember and Aura has a very maternal energy, and so does the Sasuraibito Tarot. This is why I use it for growth. However, the images are a bit more modern. They're a bit... the colors obviously are a massive departure from what we see in the Ember and Aura, and I think this has a very cosmic collective energy to it, if that makes sense. It makes me feel supported in the way I choose to like go on my journey, and it's a bit more blunt than the Ember and Aura, but the images come from such a place of love. I cannot stop using it for myself and for others. I've only had like amazing readings with it. People don't stray away when they see the imagery, even if sometimes it's a bit more scary. Then this devil doesn't seem scary, but it is, just because having someone who's so aesthetically pleasing and attractive, it's kind of like a warning sign that not everything that shines is gold. So I quite like it. I like this Fool with this old man. I just absolutely love it. I love this 4 of Cups with the hair wrapped around her. The 3 of Swords. I don't know, it's just something I enjoy watching, looking at while reading. So this is my other deck for consistent growth. The next prompt would be the deck I use to jump over hurdles and obstacles. And guess what? It's gonna be my Mariel, my Margarete Petersen, and my Dark Mirror. I decided to include the Dark Mirror, but we'll go there in a bit. So my Mariel, everyone knows it, everyone loves it. This is probably my favorite 9 of discs ever. Cardstock is absolutely amazing, even though it's a mass market deck. Images are very striking. Sometimes they are grotesque, and this is why I like it, because it forces you to see some parts of you don't like, some parts of you may not be ready to accept. The imagery that's warm and kind and inviting, like the 3 of discs, like the 6 of wands, is absolutely stunning. The Hangman, I really like this Hangman. The Strength card is absolutely amazing. I don't know, it's just something about this deck that forces me to look into the mirror and just accept what I don't have control over, and to work with what I have control over. So yeah, if I feel blocked, this deck is the one to take me out of that funk. Next deck, let me just put this back and I'll continue. The next deck that does that for me is the Margarete Petersen. And mind you, this is an art deck, because this is how the images look like. They're just paintings by Margarete Petersen. And the fact that tarot is a concept in this deck. The Mother of Flames, look at this painting, and do you see any figures? I think it just forces you to look for meaning and to dissect what the image is telling you. And this is why I like it. I love this devil. I love this devil for so many reasons. I just like the shape. Obviously, I like geometry. I'm an engineer initially, so that's what I studied. And anything that has to do with structure and form and maths and things like that, I'm just drawn to it instinctively. The Eight of Flames, it's a card that I always struggle with, but in this deck it does make sense. Like, you have this person shooting an arrow, but you also have the cheetah, which is one of the fastest animals ever, right? So it talks about that urgency, that speed at which things come at you, right? The crone instead of the hermit, I absolutely love the concept. The mother of feathers with this blue and the what are they? I don't know the names of the birds, but flying there, and the eye. It's just the amount of work that went into this deck. The lovers with the snake in the middle. It's, I don't know, it's just such an incredibly honest mirror that's being placed in front of you. I like it. I do like it. This is one of my favorite full cards because it looks so artistic and yet so deeply rooted in tarot. Okay, this is again this is one of the decks I use if I'm in a blockage of some sorts and I need to grow up fast, right? And the other deck I use by itself or in conjunction with other decks is this Dark Mirror Oracle deck. I use it in my readings and for others and for myself because it's just such a force of deck fragmentation. It just forces me to look at the cards and dig my way through it and see what they mean to me. Like this Addicted card, you have the moon phases and you have all sorts of things that you can connect to if you need. Like this human is absolutely suffering in silence with this chain around their neck and carrying their swords, their pain, like they are angel wings, right? It's hiding your true self again. I won't cry for you and yet I cry tears of blood. Bride in a Cage, Queen of My World. Like all of these cards are absolutely stunning. I do not like the artwork itself. I like the concept. I think you can tell that these are not paintings and these are not photographs. It's like something in the middle. I'm not good with types of art, but it works. It works. It just forces you to look into the mirror and it's actually a dark mirror for your soul that speeds the growth process. So, next prompt, growth for validation. And I have two decks here. I have the Ostara Tarot and the Mystical Dream Tarot because I realized that Mystical Dream, I don't talk about it that much. I don't like this split box for the cards in Ostara Tarot. This is a collaboration deck by Molly Applejohn, Eden Cook, Krista Gibbard, and Julia Iredale. And each of the creators has done one of the suits and then they did the majors together, and that's reflected in the artwork because it doesn't look similar through and through. And some people have complained that it doesn't look cohesive, to which I respond, that's the whole point. This is a deck that I use for validation, to be honest. Like if I need confirmation that the road I'm in, the path I'm on is the right one, I just use this deck because it does make sense to me. It's such an easy reader. I can look at the cards and then instantly I understand what's going on and where do I need to go and what's the main message. So it's an easy reader for me. The Mystical Dream Tarot is not quite the same, but I still use it for validation because it has a very positive vibe, which I kind of tend to stay away from. I don't like decks with a specific vibe, if that makes sense. Again, with the 2 split box, something I don't enjoy using, but that's beside the point. This is the artwork. It's very dreamlike because it's based on the author's dreams. Janet Piedilato, I hope I'm saying it right, so you can see here. The cardstock is not the greatest. It's quite glossy and annoying. But why do I say I use it as a validation tool? Because I can't use it by itself. It's not a deck I can easily read by itself. It's very intuitive on one side, but on the other one, I feel like I need a guidebook to get my answers. And this is why I say I think it's a validation tool for growth more than anything else. I love this 9 of Cups. Yeah, the Moon Chariot, the 2 of Pentacles, 3 of Pentacles. Anyway, this is one of the decks I love the most for growth. It forces me to think, it forces me to ponder the messages I'm seeing, the messaging I'm reading. And because of that, I can't use it for someone else. It's quite impossible to take this, I don't know, at the vintage fair and read for people with the guidebook in front of me. But for me personally, because I think I'm always learning, I find this a blessing. Next prompt is Gentle Growth with Tarot, and I have the Art of Love. I know this deck has been reprinted, and I think it's called the Art of Light right now. Cardstock is different, not so glossy. They are quite big cards if you ask me, and it's kind of hard to shuffle them. But I like the positive aspect of it. You have the Acceptance, the Emperor. Some of the cards are renamed, the suits are renamed, so you have the stars, which are the wands, trees are pentacles, angels are swords, and hearts are cups. So you have keywords on at the bottom of the card. 8 of Stars with Surge, the Shadow with Fear. And I think because it's such a gentle approach to this deck without it being overly positive, like for example with the Spirit Song Tarot, it had some keywords that were just positive words, and I ended up using it as an oracle deck instead of a tarot deck, which was trying to be. Ace of Angels, which is Ace of Swords with Wisdom, 6 of Angels with Transition. I don't know, there's such a gentle vibe to this deck. I like using it for myself. I use it on other people as well because I think it's nice. It's very easy to warm up to. I don't know if that makes sense, but it doesn't make sense to me. So yeah, this is the Gentle Growth. Next we have not necessarily growth, but grounding. I have sorry, my voice is cracking. I have the Illuminated Earth Oracle. I was debating adding this deck because I'm going through a phase where I'm not necessarily attached to it. And funny, the first card is the attachment. I've wanted this deck for such a long time, and I managed to get my hands on it, and I couldn't like stop using it. And I think this is such a good deck for grounding the messages around around your reading mainly. So I've used it like that for a while, and now I feel like I've grown tired of it, but yet I'm still drawn to it because it's such a good deck. I like it. I like using it, even though sometimes you're confronted with messages you don't want to see, like I think combustion is one I've seen a lot, especially when I was going through a rough patch and I had to let go of that card and understand that, yeah, sometimes we set fire to our own home and we have to accept it and move on. Yeah, this card has haunted me forever. It's a good, sturdy workhorse deck, I would say. I can use it for myself. I've used it for others. I think it's a bit jarring in the way it delivers messages, but I haven't seen people react negatively to it. And last but not least, decks I thought would help my growth, but didn't. First of all, we have the Modern Tarot Reader, or the Antique Anatomy, as it's known in the US. This is a deck that I really wanted to like. I dislike the cardstock. I think the pippish aspect of the cards is a bit lazy. It does seem to want to be more than it is, but I don't think it works. I find it funny, the suit of elixirs, which are the cups, is the most well developed, if you like you have the Eternal Youth, the page, and the Fertility Tonic, you have the Knight, right? The coins are just coins, the rods are just rods. The majors are nice, but again, the suit of cups is the most developed out of them all, and I either would have liked to see all of the suits developed as much as the suit of cups, or none of the suits. Like, either make it fully pip or not. And I know it's technically fully pip, but see what I mean? Like the suit of wands, you have the 9 and the 10, right? The Lover's card is nice with the roses and the heart. Let me see if I can find another. These are the blades. You have just blades randomly poking through everything. These are the coins. You have just random round objects being the coins. And then you have the elixirs, right? So you have the 7 of elixirs with... I'm not sure if you can see this, but you have... Take 1 vial, do not mix. Take 1 vial, do not mix, and you have the hand, the foot, the torso, the brain, the heart, the face, and something else, right? For the 10 of cups, you have the wisdom, the bliss, harmony. I can't see what this is or this one, but you have dream, happiness, calming, passion, and love. Where is that devotement when it comes to the suit of coins or the suit of rods? Like the 3 of coins. Okay, cool. It looks nice, but I don't know. It just feels a bit. And funny, I have the 8 of coins. You have let go, despair, soul journey, aura cleanse, the void, wake up. Yeah. So I thought that this will help me get in touch with that shadowy aspect of me, and it didn't work. It didn't work as planned, so unfortunately it is what it is. Next deck that I also attributed this this purpose to. Oh my god, I always get this with the Goliath because it has this glossy box. Goliath was a deck I really wanted for the longest of time, and I think it's an amazing artwork deck, and I've studied it. I've never even shuffled it. I went through the cards, I picked one, meditated on one, wrote down my ideas, my notes, my thoughts, and put it back in, and that's about it. I paid so much money for this deck, and I think it's good that I have it. I just don't use it. I think for me, this is one of my favorite devil cards, the Master of Lies. I like it with the snake and the goat. But in all honesty, just because I want my practice to be very mindful, I don't like having decks I don't regularly use. So I'm quite disappointed in this deck. I'm not saying it's a bad deck. I think it's an amazing deck, especially the extra cards. I think those are the meat of this deck. I don't like the guidebook because it's in a landscape format, so I try to read it. It's just not working for me. I like the artwork. I like the cardstock. I think it's a high quality made deck. But because I had such high expectations of it, and granted, some of the cards I do not agree with, like the Queen of Cups, she's the Mother of Crystals. I would have liked that to be the Queen of Pentacles, right? But yeah. I think this is a deck that can help you grow, if that's your goal. But clearly it didn't work for me the way I expected it. So yeah, I think I stopped using it a couple of weeks ago, months ago, I don't remember, because I just don't feel drawn to work with this deck anymore. I've done my meditating on it, and I think I'm done. I hope you enjoyed my ramble, and I hope this video gave you some food for thought, and I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below, or if you want to make your own video as a response, that would also be lovely. Leave your video link in the description, in the comment section down below. In the meantime, I hope you have a lovely day, evening, night, whatever time is it where you're watching now, and I hope to see you in another video. Bye!